going to go fast. All right, so if we have x cubed minus x squared, oops, I'm moving the whole thing. There we go. If I have x cubed minus x squared, this is the curve that it looks like. Okay, over the interval 1 to 2, if I wanted to find the average rate of change we've talked about before is just the slope between those 2 points. So average rate of change is the slope. So you would find f of 2 minus f of 1 all over 2 minus 1. So f of 2 you plug in here, so 2 cubed, so 8 minus 4, so 4, minus 0 over 2 minus 1, you would get a slope of 4. All right, that's finding the average rate of change between 2 points. But if I wanted to find the instantaneous rate of change, that means at that exact point, what is the slope? So if I ask for the instantaneous rate of change at 1.5, that would be right here, and it would be asking for the slope at that point. In other words, it's asking for the slope of the tangent line at that point. So remember, tangent just barely touches. Okay. Here's how we do this. We're doing an easier problem. We're going to do g of x equals x squared, and we're going to find it at x equals 3. So here's where 3 is. You go a little bit more than 3, so 3 plus h. You find the slope between those 2 points, and then imagine those 2 points sliding together. That's finding the limit as h goes to 0. Does that make sense? So you're finding the slope between those 2 points, and then you're letting h go to 0. So in other words, here's what we have. So we're going to do the limit as h goes to 0 of g of 3 plus h minus g of 3 all over 3 plus h minus 3. You're shaking your head. You don't want to do this. It's not bad. Limit as h goes to 0. 3 plus h is going to be replaced. Just like if I asked g of 5, what would you do if I asked you to find g of 5? What would your answer be? G of 5? You would plug it in and get 25, right? So if I ask you g of 3 plus h, in place of the x, you replace it with 3 plus h. So you have 3 plus h squared minus 3 squared all over 3 plus h minus 3 is just h. Okay, so then you FOIL it all out. So when you FOIL, remember when I was in AP Calc, I always had to write it out. So it's okay if you have to write it out. It's fine. You get 9 plus 6h plus h squared minus 9 all over h. This is nice because your 9's cancel. And h goes into both pieces. So you get limit as h goes to 0 of 6 plus h. So what is the limit as h goes to 0 of 6 plus h? 6, right? H goes to 0, so this is just 6. So it's saying at exactly 3, the slope of the tangent line is 6. Okay, now on your AP Calc exam, it will say write an equation for the tangent line at x equals 3. You better believe I will have one of these on your take-home or on your in-class test. So you're going to just say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M is 6. Your point was 3 comma 9. Do you guys see it? Isabel, you get it? So 3 comma 9. So I have x minus 3, y minus 9. On your AP Calc exam, you can leave it in this form. You do not have to solve for y, because what happens is a lot of people will mess up when they try to solve for y. So they like to see this. Okay, and that's your answer. Now these get a little bit harder, so like on your next example, I'm not going to do it, but on your next example, you're finding it at t equals 4. So you're plugging in, you're going to do f of 4 plus h, don't pack up yet guys, minus f of 4 all over 4 plus h minus 4. So what would 4 plus h be? You would plug in, I'm forgetting my limits. You would be plugging in 4 plus h in for t, so it would look like this. That would be the first one. That would be f of 4 plus h minus plugging in 4. So 3 times 4 squared minus 2 all over h. Notice how it's always all over h. And you'd have to simplify that. So these aren't going to be hard. They're just going to take a little bit. If you know the shortcut, you may not use the shortcut.
Oh, it's so easy.
Well, that's part of calculus. You got to do the long way first.